happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of Mavens of Manufacturing. This episode is sponsored by Factory Fix, which we all know is the talent platform that combines the power of a talent network featuring over 400,000 skilled manufacturing pros and a recruiting platform built specifically for the manufacturing industry. So if you're having trouble, again, finding that skilled talent, be sure to contact them and they can help you fill some of those vacant positions you have available within your companies. I'm super excited today. We have Jayna Hardy and Ashley. I'm going to probably mess up your last name because I forgot to ask you. Is it Tanksley?
Yes.
Awesome. Yes, go me. They're both from Edgewater Automation, so I'm really excited to have both of you here. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. We're excited to be here.
You seem a little nervous. Don't be nervous at all. It's just going to be a fun conversation. So can you both, before we get into who you are as individuals, can you kind of explain to us what Edgewater Automation is and some of the products and services you provide for manufacturing?
Yeah, of course. So in short, Edgewater designs and builds custom automation machines for customers who want to automate a process. And our application engineers and sales team will work with the customer to come up with a concept that fits their specific needs. And then they'll pass that concept on to the mechanical engineers to flesh out the design a little bit more. We work with the controls engineers to come up with a design for a nice quality machine that'll work. And then we hand it off to the manufacturing team. So I'll let Ashley talk about that.
Yeah, so that's where I come in. Once they get done, designing everything and everybody figures out, how do we make the customer's product work, then I do a little bit of everything. I mean, I have to order the material for that new machine and figure out how we're gonna, make our tools. And then when all of that stuff is kind of done, then we can start building their product, and it's a whole thing. So that's what we do here: custom automation, automotive, pharmaceutical, and that's about it.
So, Ashley, you're a machine builder, correct?
I am.
And then Jayna,
yes.
So Jayna, you're a mechanical design engineer. So can each of you kind of explain what those titles mean and how you got into this field? Because there is a shortage, a skills shortage, but there's also a gender gap as well too. And one of my passions is to really get women excited about the different opportunities within engineering and manufacturing. And I've talked to several women engineers who, have said, yeah, I'm like one of 4 women in my class of 30. So how did you guys get involved with engineering and manufacturing? And can you just give us some details about what each of your position is?
Yeah, I'll start with my position and then I'll get into how I got here. So most of my time is spent at a desk in front of a computer. I will model, assemble, detail different parts of the machine in SolidWorks, the 3D software. And I also have to communicate with a lot of vendors, speccing out different purchase components to integrate with our design, a lot of meetings with the customer to review our design and ask questions pertaining to it. Every now and then I get to go out on the floor after my machine's been built and actually interact with it. Doesn't happen a whole lot. Mostly during the debug phase, I'll help support the build team during the debug phase, help make changes where necessary when we need to make changes on my side. As for how I got into this, it's not a very exciting story. I'll be honest. Just throughout all of school, I've liked math and science. That's what I'm good at. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me to go into mechanical engineering. It helped that one of my projects in one of my classes was to design, build, and program a robot for a competition. So it's kind of similar to FIRST Robotics.
Nice.
But I really enjoyed that, and that really solidified my decision to pursue a mechanical engineering degree. I went to Ferris State University in the MET program there. So I graduated the bachelor's degree and a certificate in product design as well. In my last year at Ferris, I applied and got accepted for an internship here at Edgewater. So I was a mechanical design intern for 3 months over the summer. And at the end of that summer, they offered me a full-time position after I graduated in December. So
that's really cool. So there's this big misconception, and I've seen this in a couple of presentations too, where when you tell someone, yeah, I'm an engineer, I think a lot of people think of someone with glasses, not that there's anything wrong with glasses, or like a pocket protector, and it's kind of this boring. And you mentioned that most of your time is sitting behind a desk, but I feel like there's a little bit more to it, because if you didn't have fun at your job, I don't think you would be willing to sit behind the desk. So what are some of the skills that you possess that help you with your position? Is it more of like a creative type thing, especially with like 3D CAD software? Like you mentioned SolidWorks. Can you explain like how that is helping you design some of these machines that then gets turned over to Ashley so she can start building them? Like, what is it about your position that you really like and makes it fun for you, that this is something that you want to do? And obviously you liked Edgewater so much, because I feel like if you didn't like it, you wouldn't say, yes, I'll work here full time. So tell us some of the fun stuff that you like.
So you're right. There is a very creative aspect to this job, especially since we're doing custom automation machines. Like every machine that we make is completely unique, new challenges with every project, and you do have to get a little creative with your solutions sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I do really like that. I've always loved challenges. I've loved solving problems. I like getting creative with stuff. So that is a huge pro for me in this industry.
And it's just gotta be cool to like, have something on your computer and then see it brought to life too. Like,
definitely. Definitely. That is really awesome to see, like, my design actually like grow into a machine that works and accomplishes what it's supposed to do. That's super rewarding. And then I love the teamwork aspect here, where I get to work with a whole bunch of other really cool people, really knowledgeable, know their stuff, and we can brainstorm ideas together and make sure that it works from every aspect. So that's another really cool thing about what we do.
So you got a few comments while you were talking. Jenna says, "Whoop for female engineers." I'm glad that we have support for female engineers, because I feel like, again, there's a shortage for women engineers, and I think there's this big misconception, like it's boring and it's not creative, and you've said, no, it's really creative and it's a lot of fun and I get to do a lot of different things. And then we have Nikki Gonzalez who's tuning in. She's from Automation Ladies. So make sure you tune in to her podcast with Allie G. They love custom machine building and anything automation. So make sure to tune into them. And then we have Ingor, who's just amazing. Hello, Jayna and Ashley and Meaghan. Hello, Ingor. Thank you for joining us. And she's like, I can just imagine how rewarding it must be to like create something and then see it be brought to life. It's kind of like, as a mom, I kind of would compare it that way. Like that's your child, Maybe that's not the right way to put it, but I would be very proud. So Ashley, after she gets done with her stuff, it goes over to you. So what is a machine builder? Because when I first talked to you guys, I assumed that you were both doing the same thing, but you're not doing the same thing. Like she designs it and then you create. So can you give us some more details about what a day in the life looks like for you?
Yeah, so there's a ton that goes into machine building. I mean, you kind of have to know a little about a lot. So first it starts out with, you get your prints that Jayna designed, and then you go through and you gotta order all your material. Like, how am I gonna make this detail? That's what we call our tooling. Are we gonna machine it here? Are we gonna machine it somewhere else? Then you move on from that once all that stuff is made. And this is really oversimplifying it, kind of, but once all that stuff is made, then, you got to figure out, is this stuff getting, black oxided, clear anodized, some kind of coating? Is it getting painted? Do I need to stamp it for further identification? So that's kind of like the beginning steps of building a machine. And then you actually start putting all of that stuff together and making it into whatever the customer wanted, whether it's, I don't know, building pistons or mufflers, or, and then you get into the really fun part, which is, we have a lot of this going on right now, is debug and watching everyone's machines work. And then, you had everything designed and you got to figure out, okay, well, this idea, this concept might not work. We got to try something else. And it's always it's fun for us. No day is exactly the same ever. It's always changing. I enjoy that part. I mean, problems are good in automation. It keeps things interesting.
I like that doesn't scare you away, because I feel like there's a lot of people who don't want to fail at something or get stuck. But I feel like with engineers, they're just like, yes, give me the problem. And Nikki's on here with Automation Ladies, and I mentioned Alicia Jopin, who hosts that show with her. And she said one day, she's like, when everything goes right, it scares me, because it's like,
yeah,
wait a minute, no, like, yeah, this can't be a perfect scenario. So she doesn't like it when she gets done doing her thing and then it works fine, because she's like, there's got to be a problem somewhere.
Right.
So it's
yeah,
just, it's
totally
funny to see that perspective. So you guys said the debugging part, you both laughed at that. Can you explain what that process is and why you were laughing at it and what makes it so fun?
I just think it's funny because I just came from a meeting where we're looking at a machine I designed, and we're trying to get it ready to run off for the customer, and the builder's going through all these different problems that we're having and how we need to fix them before the customer comes in a few weeks. So that just made me laugh when we were talking about debugging, like, oh yeah, I have a few of those problems I need to fix right now.
There's no anxiety at all in engineering. We have Courtney on here as well. She said, I use SolidWorks, but I'm a Sparky and I use it all wrong. It's a dark art to me. Much respect.
It does take a while to figure it out. I actually went through some of the certification exams for SolidWorks the past few years. So I've made it up to the expert level now, but it does take a while to get used to it for sure.
That's awesome. And then Nikki said, haha, and like a child, you have to support a machine forever. Absolutely. And we also have Hank. Hi, Hank. Thanks for joining us. Can't stick around today. I'm on site in Iowa. Cheers all. Well, thank you. Make sure you do the replay for Peyton and Aiden. He has 2 daughters, and he calls them the junior board of directors, and they watch Mavens and Automation Ladies every chance they get. So we're inspiring the next generation, which I think is really cool. And then Nikki, by the way, we would love to invite you both to come on Automation Ladies sometimes. Yes, Nikki, absolutely. So I'll set that intro up between the 3 of you guys, so that you can go on there as well too. They're fun. They're really fun to talk to. And then this way you guys can help Edgewater Automation as well. So yay, networking. So Ashley, I was actually introduced to you first because you recently, before the end of last year, you won a $20,000 scholarship, and then you received like a top honor, or the top 5 apprenticeship. And I think I mixed that up. You got the scholarship while you were in high school, correct?
Yeah. So, I got a scholarship. The school district I went to was very fortunate that we had a casino go up by us, and we all got $25,000 when we graduated to go towards anything towards our education, whether you needed like a laptop, books, pay for classes, whatever. but I'm very lucky and my job pays for my classes. So I got to use that money to buy tools for my on-the-job training, because that's where you get, most of you go through college when you do the 4-year apprenticeship here, but you're learning 98% of it on the floor. So they allowed me to use that money to buy my tools. And then the award that I got is just a program that Barry and Works was doing to kind of get the word out there about apprenticeships, because we're still not talking about that enough to like the younger kids in high schools. I never expected to be here. I didn't even know that this was anything in the realm of possibilities for me to do for a living. I always thought, because college is pushed so heavily in high school, and trades usually aren't. I don't know if that's different now. I graduated 10 years ago, so maybe it's better now. But back when I was in high school, it wasn't like that. So that's what the award was for. My boss nominated all of us, and I was one that got chosen. So it was just to bring a little recognition to the programs and stuff.
That's
like that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned too that, when you were in high school, that they didn't really push for the trades. And I had a similar experience. And oh gosh, how long did I graduate? Like 20, 25 years ago? It's been a long time. And I'm not a mathematician, so I can't do quick math in my head. But they pushed it on certain individuals that excelled in math and science. And I was always good at English. So I was always told, you're going to be a teacher. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, that doesn't sound like my personality. Jayna, did you have a similar experience when you were in high school? Like, did they have a program that was specific to trades? Because I do see some schools now who are making like tracked programs where, depending on if you want to be in like medical or childcare, like they'll have certain tracks, and then one of the tracks is focused on engineering and manufacturing. What was your experience like?
I don't think we had anything like that. Like I said, I was into the whole math and science stuff, so I was already on the engineering track, as you put it. I know that we had like machining classes and like woodworking, we had some of those classes around, but I don't know if the trade apprenticeships and stuff like that were really pushed for post-schooling options.
Yeah. That's interesting. I would like to, like, that's one of the things I'm trying to figure out is how schools are talking about these opportunities, and if they're still kind of stuck in the past of how they're talking about them. And that's one of my next questions for both of you. Are there certain things aside from like the internship and the apprenticeship programs that you both were involved with at Edgewater, are they doing other things to get the next generation really excited about engineering and manufacturing and wanting to pull them in?
So the same high school that I went to just built a small STEM building for the robotics program. So I should say that my school, at least that I graduated from, is changing. My dad's a mentor for the robotics team, and they've been building that up quite a bit over the last 3 or 4 years. And they've got like a Bridgeport in there, a lathe. I think they have a surface grinder, and they're teaching those kids kind of more about automation and just the trades in general. Just critical thinking is probably more what I would say. So yeah, I think I think that at least my school is starting to try and get the next generation into it with the robotics programs. And that's what I would like to start donating some of my time to, is see if I can get in there and mentor some of, not just the girls, but maybe
everyone.
Yeah. And if maybe some of the girls can see that we're doing it, they can be like, hey, maybe this is an option for me too. Or at least I just never even thought that I could try it. I remember my dad trying to get me to work here. And I was like, no, I don't want to be the only girl. And he had his boss call me, and basically his boss was like, hey, so I heard you're looking for, winter work or whatever, and you want to start Monday at 7. And I was like, I don't want to be rude, so I said sure. And and I just look back now, like, if I didn't give this a chance, and I would be missing out on something that I love so much now. So
there's that good old peer pressure from the boss.
Yeah. I was like, well, I can't be rude to my dad's boss. So, and I just, if I wouldn't have given it a chance, so I don't know, maybe if other girls can see us in robotics helping out, they can know that it's an option for them too.
So you said something interesting there that I kind of want to dig a little deeper in. You said, I didn't want to be the only girl. Why was that an issue for you? Because I think that's important for companies to know.
But I know it's a big issue for a lot of girls. They're all thinking like, I don't want to be the only one in there.
I kind of like it, honestly.
I love that you like it.
I get my own bathroom.
That is nice.
There's no line. That's awesome. See, and I think I'm on Jayna's side a little bit more with that conversation too. Like, I always gravitated, because then I wanted to be like, well, no, you can't tell me this is a boy only club. Like, I'm going to make waves in there. So I just felt like it was more competitive for me to do that. But it's an interesting topic, because there are a lot of women who think that it's just a place for men, and that makes them uncomfortable or a little intimidated, and they don't want to step foot in it or even try it. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because we need to find a solution on how to make more women comfortable, so that they can come in and do something that they end up loving in the latter part of it. So when you first started at Edgewater, what were some of the things that you started with? Because when I talked to you previously, you mentioned that as well. You were like, I didn't think I was going to build machines. Like, this was not something I ever pictured myself. So what was some of the first things you were doing there?
Just the very basic bare minimum of stuff, like deburring things that came out of machining, lots of cleaning. I did a lot of cleaning, smaller strut assemblies that build like our frames for tabletops on the machines or whatever, stamping parts, like the very bare minimum of stuff like that. And then they started giving me a little bit more. About 3 or 4 months in, they were trying to figure out, what can she do? Because when I started, I never used power tools or hand tools. I didn't own anything. So I was very, very green. And that's just kind of how I started. Just the bare minimum, very basic steps of what we do here.
So what are you two looking forward to now that you're getting all of this experience and building machines that are helping customers with their problems? Like, what's the next step for both of you ladies?
Well, I'll be graduating my program next year. I'm already kind of playing machine builder. I have 4 of my own right now. So that's kind of the next step. They're just 4 smaller machines, just like 1 conveyor, 1 robot, nothing too crazy. So I'm sure the next step for me is probably bigger jobs. That's it for me.
Yeah. So I haven't really led a project yet. I've always been a supporting role to the lead engineer. So that would probably be the next step for me, is to have my own that I'm in charge of. And that'll be kind of cool when I get to that point.
That would definitely, we got to have more women leaders too that are leading stuff. We got a couple other comments. We have Courtney, ditto on the bathroom. And then Nikki says, it's always nice to have at least one more girl to hang out with. We don't need to be the majority, in my honest opinion. We don't, but I think it's good to have that common ground, so that if you need to vent about something or talk about something or ask for like a feminine product, try to ask a guy about that stuff, they're kind of just like, what the heck? No, like, do we have any of these available somewhere in the shop? Like, are they available? They kind of, their face turns green. But, and then we have Jim on here. Ashley is currently leading $1 million project. Wow, Ashley,
Yeah.
good job. That's awesome.
Thanks, Jim.
Congratulations. Well,
Yeah.
before I let you two ladies go, if you had one ask for our audience, what would your biggest ask be?
Do you want me to go?
Go ahead.
I just wrote down, be curious, be motivated to learn new things, because you could end up somewhere you never thought you would be and end up really loving it like I did.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess mine would be kind of similar, because I do like always keep learning new things. There's
Mhm.
so much out there that you can learn, you know, if you're
Especially
passionate
in
about
here.
something. Oh, yeah. But if you're passionate about something, like, don't be afraid to pursue it and learn how to do something a little new.
That's awesome. Well, I have an ask too, since I know that Jim is tuning in. If you ladies are not involved with WIM, which is Women in Manufacturing, Jim, you should really consider investing in a corporate membership. Also, he's saying we're very proud of both of these young ladies. Also, they provide leadership courses as well through the membership. And then there's a couple trade shows coming up that I'm going to encourage Jim Invest to send both of you ladies at. One is Automate, which is in Detroit in May. And then there's one in February called 3D Experience World, and that's SolidWorks. That's their event. So, Jayna, that would probably be and it's in Nashville. So Jim, I'm plugging those in for you so you can consider investing and sending the ladies to those events, because I think they would have a great time. And then Nikki says, we can't wait to see what you guys build and design, and I'm with her. So I want to thank both of you ladies so much for coming on and stepping outside of your comfort zone, because I know you both were a little nervous, but thank you so much. If anyone has any more questions for you, or they want to reach out to you, where can they find you, and what website should they go to?
LinkedIn for sure. And it's just my name, Ashley Tanksley. That's where they can find me.
Yep, same with me. I'm not great at responding to messages, but I'm working on that.
I'm the same. What about Edgewater Automation's website? Do you have that on you? Can you just shout that out?
It's edgewaterautomation.com or
Yes.
something. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's simple.
I'll include it in, like, Jim, what's your website? I'll include it in the comments. Well, thank you ladies so much. For all those who are tuning in, thank you for joining us again on Mavens of Manufacturing. Be sure to stick around. I do have a message from 3D Experience World. So again, Jayna and Ashley, I hope you can convince Jim to go to that. It's in Nashville, and I think it would be a great opportunity for both of you. If not, hopefully I'll see you in Automate in May. So thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.